Hey everybody, Nicole here today, and I just wanted to share with you something I've been learning about this last week, and that is how to transition a toddler from a crib to a big boy bed. I know, right? My son is 22 months old, and he'll be 2 in April. I totally was not planning on transitioning him out of his crib quite yet. However, he decided it was time to start doing that because he started acting like a little monkey and climbing out of his bed several times repeatedly over and over and over again. So since we already had a toddler bed here, we decided let's go for it. So here's a few tips. I want to share with you 3 main ideas or 3 main tips to be successful in terms of transitioning your little guy or your little girl into a big boy or big girl bed. All right, so here's tip number 1. You need to make sure that your toddler is an active part of the process of transitioning them from the crib to the big boy or big girl bed. What I mean by that is with our son, we let him be in the room when we were taking apart his crib, and we let him be in there as we were putting together his big boy bed, and just be an active part of that as we were putting on the sheets and putting stuffed animals near it. He was there and he was participating in all of those things. So it's almost like he got to feel a little bit of a sense of ownership. If we wouldn't have had sheets already or special bedding, we could have taken him with us to the store to get new bedding, and we still may do that in the future just to help him feel like it's his bed and he gets to make decisions about that. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to stick to your routine. So whatever routine you had or have for bedtime, you need to make sure you continue to have that when you're putting them into the big boy or big girl bed. It's all about consistency. So if you normally, let's say you do a half an hour of music, like quiet music, or you do a bath time, and then you do pajamas, and then you read books, and then you say prayers, and then it's night time, whatever it is, you need to continue that routine when you're transitioning them from the crib to the big boy bed or the big girl bed. And for me, I told my little guy along the way, like when we were reading, I said, okay, honey, we're going to read 3 books, and then we're going to rock for 5 minutes, and then we're going to go night-night, and when we go night-night, we stay in our bed and we go to sleep. And I repeated that to him every step of the way. So when we had 1 book left, I told him we have 1 book left, and then I repeated the rest. And then I put him down and put him into bed. Then I left the room, and I left the door cracked open just a little bit. And this is where step 3 comes into play. You need to be very consistent and you need to be patient because your little one is definitely going to test their limits. They're going to get out of bed and they're going to see what they can get away with. So the first time they get out of bed, I followed the technique suggested by Super Nanny pretty much, where I would pick him up, I put him back in bed, I said, it's night-night, honey, and I love you, good night, and I put him back down. And the second time he got out of bed, I did the same thing, just a little bit more stern. Anytime after that he woke up, or he hadn't gone to sleep yet. Anytime after that he gets out of bed, I put him back in without making eye contact and without saying anything, and I just keep doing it. The first night, I probably did that 20 times before he finally stayed in bed. Last night, it was probably more like 5. So you just have to be consistent and you have to be patient. And number 4, make sure you have the support of your partner because it is going to be a teamwork thing. I do recommend whoever starts the bedtime process continues it throughout that night just to keep that consistency because mommy might do something slightly different than daddy. So it's really important to keep it consistent. So there you have it. Those are my 3 key tips, my 3 key pieces of advice to survive transitioning your little boy or your little girl from the crib to the big bed. I would love it if you comment below if you think that this is useful or maybe you have another idea that I haven't mentioned because we're still going through it. We're still in the mix of it, and even though he slept in his big boy bed for 3 whole nights now, I'm sure we'll have moments where we still face our challenges. So if you like what you hear, please subscribe, and thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day.